Welcome to the second episode of the Energy Post podcast by KenGen, where Africa's energy conversations are taking place and center stage. My name is Evelyn Mwaura.
And my name is Frank David Ochieng. Last week we had our GM Commercial Services engineer, Ronald Kipet. And it seems like KenGen only has engineers. So again, this week we are having another engineer in the house. But before we get to Isaac, Evelyn, have you ever had a chance to look at the Kenya's 50 shillings note?
Oh, I rarely get to touch money thanks to mobile services, but maybe when I was buying mandazi a few weeks back.
I'll pleasure you to have a note.
Thank you.
50 shillings note. Let's just look at it. And you can see this is KenGen logo.
Uh-huh.
If you look at the note so well, somewhere at the back of it, you'll see something that looks like a structure, building structure.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually KenGen's Olkaria I geothermal power plant. The power plant is about, I think, over 45 years now, because it was first installed in 1981 and redeveloped over time until 1985, when it hit about 45 megawatts. And from there on, it has lived its life until at some point it was retired, having done full life. But then there's a team out there that is now working to bring this power plant back to life. But you know why it is 50 shillings?
Maybe you can expound on that, because why 50 shillings? Why the Olkaria one?
Of all the, which notes do you know in Kenya?
50 shillings,
Okay.
the 100 shillings, the 200, 500 and 1,000.
50 is the smallest note in Kenya, which stands for affordability in terms of energy availability in the country.
Oh, wow.
The bills that you're going to have in this show are mostly about the host and the guest. Some of them may include forward-looking statements, but those do not in any way portray the views of KenGen, but only those of the hosts and the guests. Talking about construction of a new power plant, we have none other than the man whose name stands for design and construction. That's what he does at KenGen. His name is Engineer Isaac Maina. And today he's here with us on stage. We're going to talk about these old power plants and what plans they have to make it new and give it a lease of life. Please tell us about yourself. Who is Engineer Isaac? Where did you start from? How did you get yourself at KenGen?
I am a person from the village. Started way back from the place where we grew a lot of potatoes. That is Nyandarua.
Okay.
Grew up there, went to a local school, same secondary school in the area, and found myself at the glorious, the university, the only university during that time, the University of Nairobi.
Okay.
And I took electrical and electronic engineering degree. Completed, tarmacked as per the norms those time.
For how many years did you tarmac?
For 1.5 years.
Okay.
I was employed at the Ministry of Industrial Development.
Mm-hmm.
People don't know that there used to be a ministry called that. But I worked for only a very short stint. Then I went back to the university where I was a tutorial fellow or a graduate assistant.
Taught.
A lecturer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then during that time, I had done an interview at KenGen, and I was absorbed at KenGen.
What year was this?
1997.
You joined KenGen as what?
No, 97 when we were joining as graduate assistant. You had to go 2 years of training before you are absorbed in the company. So I can say I joined KenGen in 1999.
So you've definitely seen this company grow from where it was to now.
Yes, I have.
Were you always aspiring to be an engineer from the time go while you were a child?
No. In fact, I wanted to become a district officer, a DU.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was the only cause or people I used to see in the village. We used to drive a very good Land Rover. We are in very good governance.
That stick over.
That stick. That's what I wanted to become.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then at what point did you stumble into engineering?
Engineering, I stumbled on it when I was actually in Form 4.
Okay.
It just so happened that we had a career day, and one of the person who was there introduced us to the engineering field, and I felt as if that might be a good field for me. Yes.
So that was your first time to come to Nairobi, away from the village?
Yes, actually I came to Nairobi the first time after completing Form 4. Yes.
Okay, so how has it been at KenGen so far over the years?
KenGen has been exciting for me, quite challenging. KenGen actually is a good company to work with, and it has offered me a lot of training and a lot of exposure, both countrywide and outside country.
Okay, so when you joined the company at that time,
Yes.
I'm sure Olkaria I was the only power plant around, geothermal power plant.
Yes, indeed. Olkaria I was actually the only geothermal power plant, and not only in Kenya, but also in Africa. So it was actually a big project. And considering when the Olkaria I was constructed and commissioned, it was actually a huge project considering the energy demand during that time.
That one was 45
megawatts
geothermal power. And I hear you engineers were arguing about geothermal and hydro at that time, and many of you are leaning towards hydro.
That is for sure, because actually that is the technology that was existing at that time. People used to know only about hydro or thermal plant. That is the diesel and the HFO plants. But geothermal was a new technology that had come at that period.
When it first came online, what did that mean for Kenya and Kenyans, and maybe even Africa?
For Kenya and for Africa, it was actually a showcase to the world that Kenya can actually develop and have a new form of technology for generation of power. Because as I said before, we only used to know about hydros and thermals, and then here comes a new technology. Yeah, it was magnificent. Then depending on the energy consumption during that period, which was not high, a 45 megawatt on a population. If you remember, the population during those period of 1980 was very minimal. Plus the development around the country was not a lot. So a 45 megawatt could have powered probably half of Nairobi during that time.
Yes. But to date, we are at 50 million Kenyans.
Yes.
And that's been like over 4 decades of Olkaria I power in Kenya.
Yes.
So what led to the redevelopment?
The current redevelopment that we are doing is as a result of the advancement in technology. The second issue is that as time goes by, the spares becomes unavailable because their technology has advanced. The people who used to produce a certain type of spares, they no longer produce them. Then looking at, we have come to the computer age technology. During that time, we used to use analog system. Nowadays, we are into computer or digital system. So those ones now necessitated the need for us to develop that plant.
So what you're hearing is that you're going to use the same steam that was powering 45 megawatts to now power 63.5 megawatts.
Yes.
So what has been the experience like building this, first of all, breaking this power plant down? Did you feel bad when you're breaking down this old man?
Yes. Actually, you feel very sad that you are breaking something that you are used to for a very long period of time. But then a time comes, because even the people who are operating the plant were also becoming fatigued. There is an extent to which you can love something, but it comes a time when that love...
old.
Yes. Yes. And what I can say is that also a time comes when it also becomes a necessity. Even when you have a car, a manual car consumes more fuel than the modern cars, which consumes less fuel. So even in geothermal terms, we are developing so that we can have a more efficient machine that can use the same fuel that we had during that period.
In terms of the construction period now, can you just give us a picture of how many people are involved to bring that power plant? I hear now you are at 90% in terms of milestones. So how many people are involved in all these projects?
Now, for a plant, a typical plant, what I can talk about is that if you look at the mobilization, we normally call it the mobilization, manpower mobilization of people, and it goes in phases. Because initially when we are starting the project, that is normally the design stage. you normally don't have a lot of people because the people who are involved is only the design people.
Yes.
But as you progress, then you come to the manufacturing stage, whereby now there you need a lot of people, not only for KenGen, but also for the manufacturers. So we are talking about many people, because considering that we have more than 1,000 equipment, if you pick one piece by one piece, you can say that for that project to come to an end, we'll have more than 10,000 who have worked on it.
10,000 Kenyans.
Not only the Kenyans, not Kenyans, even outsiders. Because most of the equipment are manufactured from outside, and they need people to manufacture them.
Yes.
But when it comes now to the construction phase on site, that normally goes in also with the peak. When the project is at the peak currently now at site, we have over slightly less than 1,000 people currently on site. But we should also not forget that we have other backdoor people who are also assisting on the project. Those ones we don't count, but they are still counted as part of the project. We have those who are looking at the design overseas. Also, the local people, even in people in the head office here in KenGen, are also participating in that project. So in terms of the manpower, you can say we have more than 1,000 people working on that project currently.
So I'm curious, when you speak about 1,000 people and it's redeveloping a whole power plant, what's the toughest part of the whole process?
The toughest part of that is normally the first stages. But people normally don't realize that those are normally the toughest part.
The design stage?
The design stage, and then the manufacturing stage. Because you must manufacture what you have designed. If you design wrongly, then it means the end output will be wrong. So that is normally the toughest stage that we normally have.
So maybe Kenyans would ask, is it easier to redevelop an old power plant or just build a new one?
It depends. One of the aspects of why it might be a challenge to develop an old power plant is because if you are to use some of the technologies that is existing on it, you have to get the original design that was done. Remember, for this power plant, the original design was done actually before 1980. So getting those designs becomes a challenge when you are trying to do what? To redevelop. And that is a major, major, major challenge. As opposed to doing a new plant whereby you are developing the design now.
Okay.
Yes.
If you look at the entire process,
yes,
looking at the big milestones to now make sure that we have a geothermal power plant that can now churn farm power into the grid. What are the big milestones do you look at?
One of the issues that we normally have as people in the construction field is that we normally find that the milestone that we have might not be understood by the other people.
Yes.
But for us, one of the major design one of the major achievement milestone we normally have is the completion of the design. And then the second milestone is the manufacturing and the acceptance. Those acceptance are the ones we normally call the factory acceptance tests.
Yes.
Which are normally undertaken by the client being KenGen. Yes. Achieving those, meaning that machine is accepted overseas, for us is a major milestone.
That's like a tailor. You have to measure and measure several times before you start cutting.
Yes. So the third milestone that we normally have, which now we start communicating because that is what people normally understood, is that the generator and the turbine has landed. Yes. Then the next milestone we normally have.
Generators and turbines, how do you transport those things? They're too huge.
Oh, they are too huge. Those one you have to do by sea, as opposed to small equipment which you can do air freight. All those have to be done by sea. You have to put a lot of insurance because a breakage of one of those equipment may run you into a lot of problems as a contractor, because it will mean it will put us back more than 1 or 2 years. So you have to put a lot of insurance. Yes. And on site as well, you put a lot of insurance and also undertake route survey because the equipments are very heavy. So most of the bridges in Kenya, as you are transporting from Mombasa to site, you have to undertake a route survey, confirm the bridges can be able to bear those weights.
So imagine you reached, let's say, in one day and realize somewhere there the bridge is not going to carry this turbine. What do you do?
Then the first thing where me as a client I'm going to ask you is that you have done a very bad job. because you never had a true route design. You never went to Kenya to confirm on the design that they had done for those bridges. Also, some of them, the equipment like the transformers, you have to look also at the height of those transformers because of the power lines that normally crosses the road. And some of them may touch those power lines, so you have to check on that as well.
Oh, so
Okay.
engineer's job is involves taking care of the roads here, not yours.
Yes.
Power lines may not be yours and
Yes.
all that. Oh, interesting.
Even in the other areas of the other part of the world, as part of your job, it involves even redoing temporary roads. If the road cannot allow you to transport that, or there's a hindrance. But for Kenya, we are grateful.
Yeah.
Yes.
Isaac, I think Frank is very interested in the engineering bit and the machinery, but I have keen interest on the human aspect. From my research, I found out that you've clocked over 2.6 million man-hours without any fatalities. How did you get to achieve this?
Before you redesign the tender document and also now sign the contract, one of the document that has to be produced by the contractor is the environment, health, and safety manual.
Okay.
And you have to adhere to this manual. And this manual is very important in a construction site because it assists us to know how prepared you are in case of anything. When you are working with the people, remember some of those equipments are very heavy. You are working on live equipment sometimes, and a slight mistake can result in fatality.
Yes.
We are very grateful for this. We have adhered very well to the environment, health, and safety manual, and that is why we have clocked over 2 million hours. Yes.
And and maybe what does this project, because the only people involved are not only the staff working on the power plants.
Yes.
How about the people, the communities around Naivasha and the local workers? Do you get to involve them?
Yes, one of the other aspects also that is recommended both by the financiers as well as KenGen is the involvement of the local community. What we have done is that the KenGen normally forms what we call a stakeholder coordination committee. This committee that is actually current in Olkaria looks at various aspects. One of them is the employment of the locals. Then there is also the economic opportunities that exist within the project, as well as also looking at the environment. For environment, the community participate in tree planting, which we also participate with them. Even our contractors assist in going to plant the tree planting for those, and also managing the environment, assisting the community with waste. Not only some of them, we call them waste, but Tiba is not a waste. Yeah, on site we call it waste, but it is useful to the community. Then there may be drums that may come as a result of the project. We normally donate to the schools as well as to the community. When we come to the economic opportunities, if the community have buses, trucks, graders, they can lease to the contractors for them to earn something. And of course, the most important is the employment opportunity. One of the clauses we have in all our contracts is that all unskilled laborers has to come within the local communities. You cannot come with your unskilled labor from anywhere else.
Call it local.
Yeah, local.
Isaac, I want to ask you. You've been at it, and I think very soon from now, you need to keep on the eating. When do we see Olkaria I coming back to life?
When you say switching on, it means very different for people like us. Because for us, currently now we have started a stage which we call pre-commissioning. And the way you commission a plant, the switching on from our perspective means that we have already now switched on our plant to start pre-commission. We have already pre-commissioned the substation because we need that power from the grid to enable us to pre-commission the existing system that we have. So that's what's happening. We have also started the steam brewing. Steam brewing is very important to clean up the steam pipes. That is what we call steam brewing. Steam brewing means you clean up the pipe also to check whether the well is still producing, because those wells have been capped for a very long time now currently. But the main test, which is probably what you may understand from this system, is that we intend to start generating, even if it is as little as 1 megawatt.
Okay.
That is testing the system from June of this financial year.
June, that's in 4 months.
That is in 4 months.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
4 months from now.
Yes.
Okay.
But that does not mean it is a full commissioning. That is testing. But it means we have switched on, basically.
So when that happens,
Yes.
think about your relatives back at home in the village.
Yes.
Once Olkaria I has gone onto the grid, what does it mean to them?
For them, it means security of supply. For them, it also means that no more blackouts. You know, blackouts normally occurs. For them, they need power at night. So it means at night they will be able to watch the news, which is very important for them. And for doing small things in the village, for those who require power, like welding. But for the entire nation, the most important thing it means it is an economic driver for economic development.
If you compare geothermal and hydro, why must we use the two of them as baseload?
The aspects normally depend on reliability. For geothermal, one of the things that we normally use them as baseload is because they are available all the time. Being available at all the time means that you can rely on that system to be available even when the other system are not available. Hydro may be good as base power, but sometimes the weather let us down.
Yes.
Yes.
You've seen the whole process from design work
Yes.
to the manufacturing, as you're saying, to dealing with a team of 1,000 people. So when the plant comes online in 2026, we are hopeful. What's that feeling like for you? Where will you be standing? Like, will you be on the far end watching from a distance, or will you be there at the center stage?
For me, I'll be at the back with
Yes.
a lot of anxiety.
Okay.
Because as you commission the first thing, your anxiety is, will the system hold? Has the machine I've brought, will they continue generating power? Or within the first month start breaking down? So the first thing is to be at the back and watch.
With fear of being held accountable.
But of course, you normally know that after we commissioned, there is that sense of excitement whereby you feel relief, you feel the hard work that you have worked for over 4 years.
Yes.
It feels very nice. Yes.
But you've done many similar projects, and
Yes.
therefore you have.
Yes, I have. But of course, you know, as we approach the commissioning stage, we take a back seat and let Frank and his team take the front stage.
Tell the whole world something is coming.
Because this is what we are doing here. We told our viewers and listeners that we'll be going behind stories.
Yes.
To reveal the people who are behind the energy story. And this is what we are doing now.
Okay.
So what next for you after Olkaria I?
After Olkaria I, we are not resting. We have already embarked on head-on with 7 Fork Solar. Currently, we actually tendering. So we are still busy on that field. For Gogo, we are also on the conceptual design stage. And of course, we are hoping to progress with Olkaria 7 and the wellhead leasing. So in the current setup, we are still not resting. We are still going on.
What do you tell that small boy somewhere in the village where you grew up and they want to come and sit where you're sitting now?
Being in the village, there is unlimited potential existing in everyone. So even if he is growing in a village, you can achieve more, provided you work hard. That is a caveat. You have to work hard and believe in yourself that you can make it.
How does an engineer work hard?
Engineer work hard by thinking. By thinking. Even when he is sleeping, he's still thinking. Yeah.
Frank, I think this has been a very eye-opening conversation, and it's clear to see that the future of energy is not just on the projects, but also on bringing back old historic assets. And that's the beauty of being a Kenyan in the 50-shilling note.
Yes. and to see that a power plant which is as old as I am, and I'm revealing my age on live TV.
How old are
I
you?
was born the same year as Olkaria I.
Oh,
And so therefore, I feel like I'm going through a renewal with this power plant also. So it has to bring a lot of history, a lot of engineering, and a lot of initiative to make this happen. And it's people like this.
Isaac, welcome again. Maybe when we commission, we hope to host you again.
All right, as always, we've told you and we'll say this again. There's nowhere on this planet where big conversations like this happen, where we talk about the energy story, but also we go behind the energy story, behind the power, behind the people, and reveal really what makes this country work. Keep it here all the time. Watch, listen, share. This is the Energy Post podcast.
Engineer Isaac, welcome to the Energy Post Power Shots.
Thank you very much.
I have a question for you.
Welcome.
What's the first job you ever wanted to be growing up?
As a district officer, DO.
A DO. Okay, what's the one tool you cannot live without in a construction site?
A notebook and a pen.
A notebook and a pen?
Yes.
Still a student?
No, still a student.
Okay, coffee, tea, or energy drink?
Coffee anytime.
A hard hat or a drawing board? Which makes you feel at
A
home?
hard hat.
Okay, and one word to describe Olkaria I after the upgrade?
Repowered.
Repowered.
Yeah.
That's it for you. I'm Evelyn Mwaura.